Sylvie. I'm a clinical psychologist from Psych Connect in Singapore. With this whole COVID-19 situation, many cities are going to lockdown. So I'm here to talk about how, while staying home, we can keep ourselves and our families both mentally and physically safe. One of the common concerns that I will be addressing will be how we can help ourselves and our families stay calm amidst all this stress and fear surrounding the COVID-19 situation. After this, I'll talk about two more main concerns that people tend to have. Adjusting to social distancing is, psychologically speaking, a big deal for many people. We often find it difficult to deal with uncertainty, and such situations like the COVID-19 tend to induce a lot of fear, worrying, rumination, frustration, and even boredom. And definitely some people are going to be more anxious than others. This situation can be especially stressful and worrying for people with mental health conditions, the elderly, or people with underlying diseases and hence compromised immunity systems. What we can do is try to tide this through while minimizing the spread as much as possible until proper solutions are found. And in such situations, it would not be helpful at all for us to panic. Personal hygiene, social distancing, staying at home, things that the government tells you, and helping each other out are things that will help. Innately social beings, and research has shown that social isolation can affect our physical and psychological well-being. Some people do cope better with stress and some struggle more with this kind of stresses. And what drives these kinds of different reactions are actually differences in the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and bodily sensations in each individual. So let's take the COVID-19 for example. Perhaps one person may think, I'm going to go insane trapped at home. This thought naturally leads to feelings of suffocation, to frustration, to stress, to anxiety. And these feelings are going to lead back to the thoughts. It also leads to bodily sensations like tenseness in the muscles, maybe difficulty breathing, sometimes a tightness in the chest. And all this will also lead to behaviors such as constantly looking up for news. Were there new cases? When will this lockdown end? Is it going to be extended? And if you keep looking at such news and looking for bad news, it's going to reinforce this whole cycle. So that is how these kinds of negative cycles can just go on. Let's take person B. Maybe person B thinks, oh great. I mean, it's not great that we have COVID-19, but I have a chance now to spend quality time with my children, which I have not had the time to. With these thoughts, naturally the feelings come as lighter. It will be related to happier feelings, relief, still anxiety definitely, but lesser of it. With these kinds of feelings, naturally you also feel more energy in your body. And that leads to behaviors that might be more productive. Like, what can I do to spend quality time with my children? What are activities I can do that I haven't got a chance to do with my children? And doing such activities also makes you feel better and makes you think even more positive thoughts. And so the cycle is changed. Everybody has negative thoughts from time to time. I myself have negative thoughts quite often. So what we can do is to actually monitor our thoughts and identify any thoughts that might be negative and unhelpful. So there are a couple of very common unhelpful thinking styles that people have. If you just Google it, there's going to be a lot of information on the common unhelpful thinking styles. So I'm not talking about accuracy, inaccuracy. I'm talking about whether these thoughts are helpful at all. Okay, or if they just do not help the situation. So a common unhelpful thinking pattern is actually catastrophizing. It's kind of like what I talked about in the cycle. For example, if maybe I went out without wearing a mask and I think, oh, I'm going to get COVID-19, and then my family will get COVID-19, and then I'll infect my elderly parents, blah, 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 blah. You catastrophize and everything blows up. Another one is the mental filter, where it's kind of like wearing a lens that blocks out a lot of the positive and lets in only the negative that you focus on. So maybe instead of seeing that 180 patients recovered today, you see that, oh, there are 78 new cases. So you focus on the negative, which is unhelpful because it's not a balanced view of the negative and the positive. And the last unhelpful thinking pattern that I'll talk about is jumping to conclusions. Jumping to conclusions is quite self-explanatory. It's like if, my sister is not answering my call. That probably means she's got COVID-19 and she's in the hospital. She is in critical illness, that's why she can't answer my call. That's jumping to conclusions without scientific evidence to back it up. So naturally, these kinds of unhelpful thinking patterns will make us feel a lot more anxiety than is actually helpful for the situation. One thing I like to say is to actually look at it like you're a detective. So if you are a detective investigating a crime, and let's say the crime is the thought, I'm going to go insane trapped at home. Then what you can do is to investigate. Look for the evidence that supports this thought and the evidence that does not support this thought. I'm going to make it really short here. So simply put, maybe I could say evidence that I will go insane trapped at home is that I've hung out with my family for holidays before and it was not pretty. That could be an evidence for. And evidence against could be, I have lived with them for many years and there's been no bloodbath. So that could be the evidence against. So maybe then, instead of I am going to go insane, trapped at home, a more balanced thought. I'm not telling you to go positive like being at home is going to be the best time ever. I want a more balanced, accurate and helpful thought. So maybe it'll be something like, it might be bad being stuck at home, but there's so many things that I could use this time for, right? Catching up with my children, quality family time, things like that. Of course, you can come up with your balanced thought, whatever it is, whatever thought it is that you hold in your mind and can help you to feel better about your situation. Because changing our thoughts can really change our feelings and our situation in the long run. So remember, in the cycle, there's thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and behaviors. We can change our behaviors. We can't really change our feelings like, hey, cheer up. That never helps anyone. So what we can do is also to change our behaviors. So let's say I'm really stressed about having to be stuck at home and I keep searching on COVID-19 news again and again and again. That's going to make me a lot more stressed out. And then after that, anytime I see anything bad, I share with all my friends and they share all the bad news they've heard with me. That's going to add to my stress even more. So what we can do to break this cycle, other than changing our thoughts, is to change our behaviors. So perhaps you can limit how much time you spend on searching for COVID-19 news and instead focus on solutions. Like, if I'm really worried, what can I do about it to keep my family safe? Hand sanitizing, staying at home, ordering in, not even risking that trip down to the nearby mall to have lunch at Pizza Hut. These are things that I could do to keep my family safe. I could also focus on things that are more productive. Like, perhaps, what can I do? I can clean my house, which even now I have no time for. You can clean your house. Make it really, really clean. You can organize things. You can learn a new skill. The skill you've always wanted to learn, but because you're always in the office or you're always taking care of everything and no one is at home but you and you take care of everything. Now you have support. You might be able to learn a new skill, make some time for social connections, maybe go into advanced yoga. There's also about the bodily sensations. You can feel really stressed out. You can feel like even the thoughts, your mind can be racing. There'll be so much anxiety in your mind, you can't cope. So one thing that I find really helpful for addressing bodily sensations and uncomfortable thoughts is practicing deep breathing or mindfulness. So mindfulness can also involve deep breathing. So I'll just talk about both of them combined. So deep breathing has scientifically been proven to work in a number of ways. It first offers you psychological distance from whatever is causing you the anxiety. It counteracts also your bodily response to anxiety. Naturally, when we're anxious, our heart rate increases, we sweat more, our palms are like cold and slimy, we might freeze, our muscles might tense. And breathing techniques have been shown to actually decrease all these symptoms in our body. It calms our whole body down, and when we calm our body down, we calm our minds down. So deep breathing is something we could do, and we could do it mindfully to combine both of them. So to do deep breathing mindfully would be as simple as just simply focusing on your breathing, focusing on what you feel when you breathe in. How does your nostrils feel? What's the temperature of the air going in? Does it feel warmer when you blow it out through your mouth? Just keep focusing what parts of your body expands and contracts as you breathe in and out. Definitely, there are a lot of breathing strategies online that you can look for. What I really like is something that's the 4 and 6 method, because it's the simplest. So generally, when you breathe in through your nose, and you make sure your tummy expands more than your chest. Because tummy breathing has been proven to be a lot more effective than chest breathing. So you breathe in and you count in your head mentally for 4 counts through your nose, and then you breathe out for 6 counts through your mouth. So in the cognitive behavioral cycle, that is the thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and your behaviors. So changing your behaviors, even your bodily sensations through deep breathing, mindfulness, and there are many more ways to do that. If you just Google how I can calm my body down, there will be so many websites that pop up. So changing any of these 3 constructs can help us to feel better, which eventually breaks this cycle. And if you're worried for your family, one thing you can do for them is to actually start to listen to them. Have an active session when you sit down with them, discuss their fears and worries about the COVID-19, about staying at home, just about life in general even. Then from the things that they say, you can start to identify the thoughts that they have that might not be that helpful. From then, you can also teach them about how it's unhelpful and teach them how to get a balanced thought out of it. So having a balanced thought could help them to change this cycle. Generally, it could also help to change their behaviors by encouraging them to do more productive stuff together, like making household chores fun, having exciting nights where you learn new skills and teach each other their skills. You could practice mindfulness together and make it fun for kids.